These people are making more than $10 million a year, like you said, right? How do you actually get their attention? Don't you think they must be getting hundreds of cold emails just like yours?
No matter what, cold emailing should go on daily basis. Even if we are full, like even if our pipeline is full, we need to do cold emailing on daily basis. We don't care. Like we'll get partners. If we cannot do the fulfillment, we'll get partners for that. Funnel should never stop.
A lot of people make this mistake that while giving this prompt to AI, they are like talking to a friend. But then also they're not giving all the information, the context and everything, and that actually makes it sound robotic. So what are your tips for people? What are the mistakes that people should avoid to do that?
We total do like 3 to 5 times of follow-ups depending on who the client is. If we are still not getting any response, we just repurpose it till they block us. They should be screaming at us saying don't reach out to me again. If they're not doing this, we keep bugging them.
Let's say someone's a social media manager and they want to work with people who are making at least $1 million a year, and so that they can get paid good amount of money. When did you decide that you are someone who could actually potentially reach out to these people and get paid? Awesome, guys. Welcome to Breaking Boundaries with Aditi. And today we have Suprava, who's the co-founder at AcquisitionX. And she's specializing in building, multi-channel lead generation systems for B2B, SaaS companies and service-based businesses. And today I'm really excited about this conversation because I am someone who's not really into cold DMs or, like cold outreach, cold emails and LinkedIn. I'm more of the paid advertising kind of person, attraction marketing. So today I'm here to actually learn as a student that how her entire system works and how she able to even attract people with founders, having great valuations in their company, and would like to hear more about that from her as well. So Suprava, welcome to Breaking Boundaries with Aditi.
Yeah, Aditi, first of all, thank you very much for hosting me. And I'm really excited about it. You can, ask me whatever question you have. Super excited about this.
Awesome. So let's get started and, let me understand one thing, because this is something that I never really got into consciously, because I always thought that cold emails, cold marketing, cold DMs is something that will not help me get consistency. And for me, it's very simple. I spend money in paid ads, we get leads and calls and we close clients, right? So I would love to hear your experience and what made you actually get into cold emails, cold marketing, all of that.
So that's a very interesting question, and to hear on what you have to say. Now I'll tell you like what led me into cold emailing, because let's be honest, even if a business is getting started, even if they don't have a website, they don't have a social media, they would have an email address, right? That's like the major priority. So that's one of the thing. And another thing is, if you're going for, let's say, if you're targeting companies valued more than 10 millions or doing in ARR, for them cold emailing is the best way, because in my experience they are not really on social media and they don't really scroll. And unless you have like a huge brand, like I'm talking, if you're like Alex Hormozy, right? Unless you're like someone like that, I just don't think just personal branding or just having a brand is enough. Even though we have gotten clients that are like really good, like Wix, organically, but yeah, whenever it comes to companies, I think cold emailing would be the best, because here you get to choose your clients, right? Because whenever someone is reaching out to you through inbound, or let's say even ads, right? First of all, ads, I think you'll have to spend quite a lot depending on what kind of ads you're running, like Meta ads or Google ads. So yeah, that's something I think just much more easier, but at the same time, if you're doing really a good job, you will see good reply rate.
Okay. Also, help me understand. Like, again, I've never done this, so I don't know anything about it. I did do some sort of cold DMs when I started out back in 2020 as a freelancer. But apart from that, for me, it's more about attraction. Like people who obviously who you're saying that, you can choose your audience, you can choose your clients, and you could do it that way. For me, it's more about like, people who want to work with me, they would come to me. So
Hmm.
what is something, how do you get, again, these people are, making more than $10 million a year, like you said, right? How do you actually get their attention? Don't you think they must be getting hundreds of cold emails just like yours?
Correct, correct. Let's say if VP or someone that you're reaching out to is receiving at least 100 cold emails on a daily basis. Okay, so how do you exactly make your cold emails stood out? So first thing would be your headline. One of the headline that is working really really great for us at the moment is saying something like RE. Then colon that, because what happens whenever someone replies to your email, it would show like RE, right? So a lot of people just get confused and they don't know like if this is a reply or if this is a cold email, right? Now, if you're landing in their inbox, I would suggest like use RE dot, then something on their company name. Just make sure that you're keeping the headline minimum 3 words, 4 words, not more than that. Okay, so that is the first step. Once you do that, once someone opens your cold email, the next part comes what you have in the first one line. Okay, and if the first one line is like a paragraph or even more than, I would say, 20 words, it's not going to work, right? So the first word, like the first line, should be again maximum 6 words, not more than that, because we need to keep in mind like most of these executives that we are reaching out to, they usually use phone a lot and they just open everything like all their emails, because I have personally seen it, right? So we need to make sure like how would this email look like in a phone, right? So keeping that in mind, we need to create the body part. Then comes in the body part, it's very very important that we showcase some case studies or some of the companies or relevant work that we have done and why we are reaching out to, right? Because why is much more important than personalization, because a lot of people think that they will just say, oh, I love your post on this topic on how you did this. Honestly, not going to work. And if you're reaching out to also companies that recently raised any funding or any kind of publication, for them also, if you're saying like, hey, I saw that you guys are funded for this thing, it just feels very very salesy, right? Like you don't even respect them as a person, you're just reaching
Yeah.
out just because, right? It just feels very like no one would be interested to reply through that email. So very important is the middle on what you're adding. So three things I would suggest to add. First is your case studies, like companies you have worked before. Second thing that you can add is some sort of relevancy. The third thing that you can add is how and why you can help them. Okay, very very important. And in the end, again, I would suggest to keep it as short as possible, like a PS line. PS. Now, here maybe you can add something like PS, congrats on the funding, or maybe you can add PS, I know you must be receiving a lot of email, but I just thought I will shoot my shot. Something like how you would talk, like how we are talking at the moment, right? Because a lot of cold emails they just look very much AI,
Yeah.
and this does not make sense. So yeah, that's something, that's the structure I would suggest for everyone to go for whenever it comes to getting the attention of
It's
anyone.
more like you mentioned that why are you reaching out to them is more important than who you're reaching out to or how you're reaching out to them or personalization, right?
Yeah.
Because
So
obviously those people don't have a lot of time to spend anywhere, right? So if they don't know why you're reaching out to them, they probably wouldn't even pique an interest on that.
yeah, exactly. Like, for example, if someone is hiring for a specific role, or let's say if someone is hired, let's say like someone, a company hired a managerial position just recently. Now, that manager would have a lot of pressure because in the first 3 months, they are basically, they're supposed to see, like, like their head of department would see, like, how this guy is performing. So
Mhm.
they would be most of the time in what I've seen, they would have certain amount of budget, like you need to meet this amount of goals in this budget. Now how they allocate that budget, it's on them. Now if you can just reach out to these guys in that certain time, I think it's again, because these guys they get huge budget for hiring agencies, hiring freelancers or contractors to be, because in the end companies just want the thing to be done, right? So if someone can just reach out to these guys when they are high, like recently hired, and if they can convince them, I think it's really really great.
So how do you get to know these people? Like how do we get to know who's recently got it funding? Like where to find that information? How to allocate that list of people?
Right. So there are like a lot of AI tools that are available in the market. Clay would be the number one tool that one can use in order to, get all these details. Apart from this, Crunchbase would also have such details, right? So these are like two tools, but I understand if someone is a very beginner, they wouldn't know, right? Now, for them, what they can do is they can use ChatGPT. I don't know if a lot of people know about it or not, but ChatGPT can actually give you a lot of data. Like, for example, you can just say, ask ChatGPT, give me 10 founders or 10 companies who are recently funded or who raised this amount of funding in this amount of period time, right? And ChatGPT will give you that data. Then you can use that to reach out. So if this is something, again, if you're a beginner, if you're not a beginner, go for like Clay or any kind of tools that are available in the market at the moment.
Got it, got it. So ChatGPT can basically scrape all this data and get you from resources, web, and everything like that, right?
Yeah. So it will not exactly scrape. It will just mention the company names. Like these are the companies that are doing this amount of things. So you can, however, ask it.
So this data that we collect, do you reach out to them on LinkedIn or do you directly cold email them?
Right. So I would suggest do both. Okay. If you have options, why not use it? Like use LinkedIn, use cold email, both of them doesn't matter. So I'll suggest like maybe first start with cold email. If you're not seeing any response, reach out to them over LinkedIn. Just keep doing it till you get a no as a reply. Okay. Like what we do, I'll tell you, instead of follow-ups, like we total do like 3 to 5 times of follow-ups depending on who the client is. If we are still not getting any response, we just repurpose it till they block us, till they should be screaming at us saying don't reach out to me again. If they're not doing this, we keep bugging them. So yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to share this one thing with you. How did I started following you was you used to do these B-roll style reels,
Yeah, yeah, that was it.
long back. That's how I
Yeah.
you started some sort of B-roll reels. And I was like, this person, where is she traveling to every single time? How is she getting so many pretty B-rolls? Like that was the only agenda that I started following you. And I didn't know that
Yeah.
what you're doing and everything. And obviously, I started consuming your content over a period of time. And now you're creating a lot of content around AI agents, right? Like you
Yeah.
literally built an AI agent that replaced an entire lead generation team. I was just like scrolling few days back and I saw some of your content pieces like that. So I would
Right.
like you to explain a little bit about, how can AI agents actually help and what did you do? Like, how did you replace someone?
Basically, AI agent won't be able to replace the entire team. What it can replace is your daily manual work. So I'll tell you like the kind of work we use agents for at the moment, specifically in lead generation, right? So in lead generation, our daily work is what? Scraping the lead list, verifying that lead list. So you basically need a person, right? Even if there are AI tools, you cannot really like automatically assume that the AI tool would, do everything. Like you need
Yeah.
a person, right? So in order to automate that part, we use N8N and we have created a workflow, right? So this workflow, it automates that entire thing. Like it will scrape, first of all, using some AI tool or some database, depending, because we do very high intent cold emailing for ourselves. So it will first scrape that list. It will enrich that list. It will figure out the decision maker. And when I say decision maker, not even like one decision maker, two, three decision makers, because we don't really know who would respond us, right? So it will figure that out. Then it will find their emails. Then it will validate their emails, and not just once, twice. We validate emails twice just to make sure like everything is in
So,
place.
okay, sorry
Yeah.
to cut you off. So basically, it will also check that is the email correct or not. That's what
Yeah.
you mean by validating.
Exactly. Exactly. So, because a lot of times what happens, a lot of SDRs, they are just fired from a company or even managers, right? In these days, specifically, we don't know what is happening. But still, that data is there because these data providers, right, they don't really update that data too often. Like they do it quarterly or maybe in 6 months, depending on the tool. So
Hmm.
they don't really update that data too much. So that data gets stuck. So if you're reaching out to someone, you must have seen like, hey, I don't work at that company anymore. Don't reach out to me. Just reach out to someone else. So to avoid such thing to happen, we just do it. Apart from this, there are a lot of other reasons as well. Like if someone died or if something else happened. So yeah, just to make sure that we have the right data.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
So you were saying that it does everything for you, like it also automates scraping, it automates,
Yeah.
making sure that the data is fine. And does it also send emails for you?
Yeah. So it does not send the emails. What it does, it sends to the smart lead campaign. Okay. Now, once all the data is there inside the smart lead campaign, one of like, someone from the team just validates like if all the details are correct or not. Because see, with agents, you cannot really rely like 100%. Like you need to still have some human brain, because I'll be very honest, like agents and all these things may sound very fancy, but we have lost a lot of money just overnight.
Hmm.
Okay. So just to make sure everything is running smoothly, the data is correct, we have someone from the team just to look over everything. Okay. And then we draft the copy. So let's say, for example, if we are doing like a very high intent outreach, let's say we are doing about 500 emails or even 200, like lower volume, right? So for them, what we do is we first of all, we figure out like few of the things that recently went on with the company, and then we just have someone to like, I mean, of course the AI writes the email, then we just have someone who sits and writes those emails, like 200 emails we write it. Okay, we don't like, even though we use AI, but AI is just to make things easier, but we still write the emails for our the customers that we reach out to. And this is, I'm talking if we are doing like very like 8 year list, right? But if we are just reaching out to like mass volume, we don't do all these things. So yeah, these are like two things we do.
For you, when did you move into just reaching out to people with eight? Like, how do you decide, that let's say you have a service? Okay, very basic. Let's say someone's a social media manager and they want to work with people who are making at least, $1 million a year. All right. And so that they can get paid good amount of money. When did you decide that, you are someone who could actually potentially reach out to these people and get paid?
So the thing is, I don't think if you're running a business, you're in it. Okay, like there is no deciding. Like anytime who people who ask me, like, how do you decide that you need to reach out? I'm like, dude, you're running a business. That's your job. Like you need to reach out. Like there's no other option. Okay, like you can run ads, you can, create content, but still, nothing really beats this. So like for me, I just knew it from the day one, because before starting all this, I used to work somewhere where we used to do all these things, from where I learned scraping, reaching out, lead generation, these kind of things. So yeah, like you need to do it. My boss would teach us like no matter what, cold emailing should go on daily basis. Even if we are full, like even if our pipeline is full, we need to do cold emailing on daily basis. We don't care. Like we'll get partners. If we cannot do the fulfillment, we'll get partners for that.
Hmm.
But funnel should never stop. So this is something, even I follow for myself.
Got it. Understood. When I put up a story, saying that I'm going to do something like this, if any, because we were supposed to connect last week, right? But we connected this week. So everyone said that Aditi, like cold emails and all of that is really good, but the reply and response rate is very less, which eventually demotivates someone because people have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, get demotivated soon and then eventually they give up, right? Although they know that this is a great way, but they're not able to stick to it long enough to see some results for them. So, my first question to you is, what's your email open rate? And if it's low, how do we increase it?
Right. So, like for us right now, we are not doing any, mass cold emailing, because we have decided that we only want to work with the top companies, right? So for us, we are sending minimum like 50 to 100 cold emails a day, because we get like a lot of referrals and a lot of, things from here and there. And our target market, that is B2B SaaS companies, and not just, any SaaS companies. Like we specifically work with SaaS company who have a product in sales marketing is valued at 10 million plus or so yeah, the target market is not very very huge in this thing, right? So we make very super high intent lead list, and whenever it comes to reply rate, we have actually very good reply rate at the moment. So I would say, so we don't really track our open rate, so I don't really, I cannot give you that number. In terms of reply rate, let's say if we are reaching out, let's say on weekly basis, if we send about 500 emails, right, we are getting about, I think, 50 something replies, which I think, is a good, decent number. So this is something that, that is going on with us at the moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. 50 replies.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you another thing also, like why it's working again for us, because see, cold emailing, I wouldn't say like it will work for everyone. Like if there are like 100% of people, it may work for 99% of people. You just need to be, you just need to figure out which like percentage you want to be a part of, right?
Mm.
Um, See, for us, we have very good numbers in terms of, our client case studies, results. And so I'll tell you again, like people who like companies we reach out to, they don't even hop on call with us. They ask us, you give us whoever you worked with, we'll first ask them if they agree with you. If they agree only, then we are gonna go on call with you. So they are like super direct.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like unless you have very good results, you cannot expect this number, because for us, like reply rate, closing rate is quite good, but yeah, like you need good case studies in order, for cold emails. But again, like if you're starting out, if you're reaching out to, let's say, 100 people a day, someone will reply, right? Someone will reply. So yeah, this is something you can do.
That's really good. Like people should have that expectation that eventually, if you want someone, some sort of numbers like what you have, then they should be having those kind of case studies. And same thing with us. Eventually, whether it's paid marketing or whether anybody who wants to work with us, they would see the case studies and then they would decide that, whether this is the right person to be working with or not.
Hmm.
And a lot of people actually mistake that and they stop working on themselves or their business, stop upgrading their skills, and just like move from one course to another cold DM course or cold outreach course, cold email course, trying to figure out how to increase the open rate or reply rate. What's your take on that?
Right. So, yeah, like you said, a lot of people are looking at quick fixes,
Yeah.
right? And I have had a course community where, I used to handle people. I've seen the kind of, people you're talking about. So, yeah, like people have a lot of expectation. The thing is, when you're starting out something, you always have expectation, right? But life will humble you. This business life, if you're choosing, you should have a very strong mindset. If you do not have a strong mindset, you honestly cannot. And if people who are only and only relying on, courses and these kind of things, they're never gonna win. Like for them, maybe right now they're doing business, maybe the next year they must be doing a job, because I know I've seen it in my, from my own eyes. People just give up, right? And see, the thing is, I don't even, blame them, because I totally understand, like this thing is like very very crazy. I mean, you need to be too much into this. Like you need to figure out how this thing is, why this thing is not working, what are the other ways. You need to go there, you need to do this. Like for me, I don't really like even if, like I do purchase courses, even if I do like purchase, I cannot really sit through it or watch or implement. So I totally understand, like it's the same thing with a lot of people. It's just that courses are courses. Like I mean, they can teach you a lot of stuff. It's just that how you use that knowledge, right? Implementation is everything. I think cold emailing is a very basic thing. It's not super complicated. It's not something that people think it is. It's not very complicated. Just create like 5 Gmail accounts, reach out to 50 people single day. Someone will reply, is what I'm saying. Now how you reach out to them, how you do this, it depends on you. Like you're starting a business, right? There must be something you start, you have that goal why you're starting the business. If it's just money, then I don't know, like I mean, yeah, of course, like some money can also drive people, but like you need more, right? Like because you're not going to make money, I think, in the first year, if you do not have any personal brand, if you do not basically have anything going on, you're
Right.
not going to make any good money. So yeah, totally depends on what people are going for.
And the thing that you mentioned, that it's not about money most of the times, you
Yeah,
definitely need something more, because if you're living in a country like India and you're making like 3 to 4 lakhs a month, you are pretty much really comfortable. And I don't think you need anything more than that. You can get a car, eventually you can get a house also. You can get a lot of things at this income, right?
yeah.
But what to like, if you want to scale above that and keep that consistency, you need to have something bigger that's more than money.
Correct. Exactly, like first of all, I feel you need to believe in yourself. Like I know it sounds very depressing when you don't see any response to your cold emails, to your LinkedIn DMs. I know I've been there. I know it. But it's just that, you still need to go through it. Like just need to keep this in mind. My work is to send 50 creative cold emails or 50 this on a every single day basis. Okay. Now I don't care if they're replying, if they're not replying. My work is to just do this. Okay. And I'm going to do it for the next 60 days. And if that does not work, then, I'll see what's next.
Got
Right. So this is the mindset I think people should follow instead of, getting disappointed for not getting. I know like what I'm saying is actually very tough to do. Even for myself, it becomes really tough, but it's just the journey. Like you need to like, adjust yourself.
Got it. Yeah, definitely. That's part of growing up and building a business. So, I'd like to talk about AI a little bit, because we live in a world of AI. Cold emails take matlab, people can do basic prompting, write a cold email to this founder, and then, this is the name, this is what the company do, and here my case studies, blah, blah, blah. And even when one of your reels, I heard you saying that, you do use AI, but it still feels like your emails feel like a human has written to them. What's the secret sauce behind that?
Correct. Now, so the thing is, I think you're talking about the cold email GPT, the custom GPT that I created, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
So for that GPT, actually, what I have done is I took out all the successful cold email campaigns we have done till now, right? And we just added there, like, in the database. And then I prompted it with a few things like, don't do this thing, keep it in this way. And then I prompted also in base of psychology, because cold emailing marketing, it's all psychology, right? So psychology is like, if someone is receiving 1,000 cold emails a day, why would they open this email? What should be the headline for it? So yeah, but still, sometimes it does give AI inputs even though it's trained. But yeah, it actually, like, a lot of people have came to me. They told me, like, they got this amount of meetings just using my cold emails, and they have told me in some of the live session I conducted very recently, and I get a lot of DMs also from people saying that. So yeah, like, it kind of is, but again, it will not give you entirely human, like not entirely, like not 100%.
Got it. So you still make changes after you get the AI written content and everything?
So the thing is, you don't have to make changes if you're satisfied with the input, right? But if
Exactly.
you're
Yeah.
not satisfied with the input, you need to, you have to use your own thing, because AI can only help you, till some way. So yeah,
Got it. So basically, you use them, you've created custom GPTs to make it like 90% sound like you, but still 10% you do add your pizzazz to it, so that it sounds like you eventually.
correct.
Is it saving your time?
Yeah, absolutely, actually. Because let's say if someone is going for volume, right? They would have to write so many emails and it takes like a lot of time. If you have a team, I mean, it would make sense. But if you do not have a team, it just takes up a lot of time. So just like, use AI. Like if a team can do the same thing in 1 hour, AI can give you maybe in the 10 minutes or 15 minutes or
Hmm.
less than that.
Got it. Now, while using AI, because I've used AI and I've made this mistake, people do very basic prompting, Although you are someone, you have created your custom GPT, maybe you've given like thousands of emails that you've done and everything, and then you created it. But still, people do very basic prompting. While giving this
Yeah.
prompt to AI, they are like talking to a friend, but then also they're not giving all the information, the context and everything, and that actually makes it sound robotic. So what are your tips for people, or what are the mistakes that people should avoid to do that?
So it totally depends on what you're prompting at, right? Like a lot of things. So I'll tell you what I usually go for in terms of prompting. Like let's say, for example, if I'm trying to create like a LinkedIn post, right? So what I do is I just copy paste a format that worked out really, really well for me, or something that I have written in the past. I just copy, paste it in ChatGPT, and I ask ChatGPT to only take the format from here. Don't take the content or anything. Then whatever content ChatGPT already created, then you just do it in that format. And some of the other prompts I use, like explaining like how you would for a 10-year-old. If you were a human, how would you talk? Another prompt is just attaching like a hyphen and human, right? Like hyphen human, and it also does that. Apart from this, if there's like some complex prompt, what I do is I just ask ChatGPT itself to create the prompt. I just ask ChatGPT, like, you're a prompt engineer and you have at least 60 years of experience in this field. What is it that you would different do it that would do this thing, whatever task is? And then ChatGPT generates that prompt. Then I just copy paste. Like, so this is something I do.
Like AI को ही बोल दो that do the work.
Yeah, yeah. I just do this. Like, I manipulate AI a lot.
Yeah, awesome, great. So, I've learned a lot of things about cold emails from you. Specifically, the fact that I loved the most was when it comes to paid marketing, you don't know that who your ads are being shown to, right? So,
Yeah.
anybody and everybody who's interested might click on it. And not every time that that person might be a quality lead. But over here, you can actually, like very intently identify who do you want to send cold emails to. You've built this entire system where you have created AI agents and automation to scrape and write and eventually send. So when I was at your event, there is one thing that I learned was actually two things. One is that which platform do you use to send the emails, and you had mentioned Gmail, so I would like to chat about that first. And second things, follow-ups. You know, you
Right.
did mention a little bit earlier, but like what kind of specific follow-ups you do?
For this question, like totally depends on which stage you're at, right? Like let's say if you're someone is like an entire beginner, because see, right now what is happening, I'll tell you with cold emailing, right? With the domain name, right? A lot of people don't know exactly how to set up SPF, then DKIM, like all these infrastructure thing. So what happens is they land on spam, but that is not the case when it comes to Gmail accounts. Like I get literally the worst kind of emails in my inbox, but whenever like the best emails I see, it's some domain name and it's in my spam box. So what I'm saying here is Gmail will help you actually land in inbox, right, of your whoever you're sending the email. So if you're like a very beginner, even if you're not a beginner, like even we do a lot of Gmail thing, and we have gotten replies. Like yesterday, we sent one. We got reply from ClickUp. If you know about ClickUp, they're like a very huge company, right? So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, doesn't have to be beginner specific. But yeah, like you can always use Gmail accounts, is what I'm saying. A lot of people would say, like, oh no, it just feels very this, that. For that, I have a hack. What you can do is you can, write whatever your email is. In the end, if you remember, a lot of people would in the early days would paste their website, they would paste their LinkedIn, Instagram, these kind of thing, right? Even now people do it, but right now it will just make you land in spam if you're doing using like a domain and you don't know how to set up, right? So what it does is it gives you credibility, right? So to retain that credibility, if you have good social media presence, you can just attach that and you can reach out to people with Gmail accounts. So that is actually really, really good if you don't know anything about tech
But
setups
how
or
many
infra.
how many Gmail like emails can you do a day?
In one Gmail account, at least 10 to 15 is what I would say, not more than that, because for Gmail also, like, you can be entirely blacklisted.
Yeah.
So yeah, like 10 to 15. Like one of the hack, I would say this is not only for Gmail, it is only like, it's like for overall hack. I recently also posted about it. So after each and every 10 days, put your like your domain or Gmail account, whatever you're using, in warm up. Okay. What happens is with warm up, like if you're using Smartlead, any kind of email sending tool, what happens with warm up is it gives basically, what do you call it? Like for Google, that you are a normal person. So basically, what it does is it gives that fake thing for Google, is that you are not a bot, you are like a human person who also gets replies. Because see, you only get blacklisted, you only land in spam if you don't get replies to your cold emails. Warm up, what warm up does? Warm up helps you, get replies, because it has those, fake, their own infra, and these tools like Smartly, Instantly, they will help you warm it up really, really well.
Hmm.
So yeah, this is something, I'll suggest.
Got it. So you're saying that anyone who's starting out, they could send approximately 10 to 15 emails per day, which would be around like 300 to 450 emails per month, right? So
Yeah.
in that way, you mentioned in the beginning that out of 500 emails, you get like 50 replies, but you have some sort of credibility as well. So let's take it out of 500, you get 20 replies for someone who's starting out. So do you
Yeah.
think it's possible for someone to like close one or two deals if they are sending 10 to 15 new emails every single day?
Right. See, the thing is, ki, if you have a huge TAM, it all depends on how huge your TAM is. So let's say if someone who is just starting out, and most of the people who start out, they don't have a very, like they don't really reach out to very big companies, right? They reach out to the companies that are maybe in mid-level, or maybe like, small startups. So with small startups, they are actually more likely to reply to your cold email, because they are always looking for people like, these guys. So actually, the reply rate would be also quite good depending on how good the email copy is. Like I get a lot of cold emails from, freelancers or people just wanting to join my company, and some of the emails are so good. Like I really post about it on my Instagram, or somewhere. I really like how they draft it. So like me, I also know a lot of founders, a lot of company owners. They would appreciate. So if you can draft really good cold email in terms of copy, in terms of relevancy, and if you reach out to them, you can actually get good response rate, right? Not only depends on your TAM. I wouldn't say like send 10 to 15. At least create like 5 Gmail accounts, and start sending 10 to 15 from each. That way you can increase the volume.
Hmm. Got
Yeah.
it. Understood.
You
And
can also
do you
automate this,
uh,
like with mass and all.
with GMAS?
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you recommend, so let's say if I have to start reaching out to people today, do you recommend that I should do like multiple email accounts, or do you think like one is enough?
Like for you, I would like to know which stage you're in. Like how, like what is the amount of investment you can actually put. Like usually cold emailing would at least take, like the minimal, I would say at least like $500 to $700. Okay, if you're trying to reach out to, let's say, 50 people a day. So
Hmm.
this would be the minimum investment. So if you can put out that amount of investment on a monthly basis, I will suggest, go for a like nice infrastructure setup with, nice email list building, and do with this. But if you cannot do that, the best way would be just start with Gmail accounts. And maybe I think, see, the more you can do, it's more better. It's just that managing would be a little tough then, right? Because if with Gmail, also one thing we need to keep in mind. So if your one Gmail account is connected to like a lot of, other Gmail accounts, it can be an issue. So you need to like have different phone numbers and these kind of thing. I know like these days a lot of such, services are there. But for now, like I think 5 Gmail account, you can just use your mom, dad, a friend like that, and you can create and you can reach out.
Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
And coming back to what's your follow-up process? Like, how much do you follow up? How long do you keep following up with them? And what kind of messages do you send?
Yeah. So, with follow up, what I do is basically, see, for like we reach out to at least 3 days or at least 5 days, in terms of follow up, right? Where we don't even leave one single day as gap. Like let's say, for example, if I reached out to someone yesterday, right? Same timing, I would also reach out to someone, today, the next day, then till 4 or 5 days. till I get any reply from them. If I'm still not getting any reply, what I do is I just add that list. Then again, we just reuse that list. We just change the email copy and we reach out to them again after, I think, 15-20 days. This is something we do.
But what kind of follow-ups do you do? Like what specifically, let's say I reach out to you as a cold email and social media marketing, blah, 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 whatever. What kind of messages would you be doing to someone? Like, are you there? Knock, knock, what else?
So we don't really do all these kind of follow-ups like knock knock, following up. Okay, like very personalized, very like you saw the email, right? It's nothing scammy, it's nothing, that you see Alex Homoji or any of these people usually say like, hey, knock knock, doing this, I want to reach out to you and ask if you are interested in adding 30K to 50K MRR. We'll never do that. Like it's just so scammy. We send hyper personalized follow-ups. And so see, the thing is, if you think about from their POV, they don't really remember your cold email, right? So a lot of people mistake it. What they do is following up on this. Okay, they just send this one liner or two liner. Now here, one of the issue is what happens here is basically, first of all, they don't really remember, they don't really care, and then they just feel ki like, what is it about, like I don't care, dude, like I don't really know what you're talking about. So
Hmm.
instead of seeing this, you can just draft another email that you think could be solid for them. Like for them, I'll tell you, for the first email we told them something like, we got to know about you guys from Reddit and a lot of people are talking about it, and we can get a lot of other people talk about it. This was the first email. The second email, what we said here is, since AI agents is trending right now, we can draft few things and we can get other people to make some noise about you guys, right? So this is the entire framework that we did for this client. Again, this is not something we do for everyone. For each and every client, it's like fully different.
Hmm.
So yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like for us, we do very uh hyper personalized, at the same time hyper relevancy it should have. So anyone reaching out, anyone doing cold emailing for follow-ups, they need to have some context like, hey, I just wanted to remind you that we can actually help you with this. Just don't add any kind of monetary value. And if you're someone doing lead generation, don't say, what if we can give you 30-40 leads a day, or like 100-200 leads a
Oh,
month.
I get this so many times. I mean, what if Aditi, you could close the next five clients? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm already closing way more than
And
five.
they just exactly, they just don't add the context, they just straight up go to the end goal. Like the end goal is to make money. They just say, what if we could add this amount of thing for you? Like I'm like, dude, who are you? And I don't really care. Like why like so yeah, that's how it feels. A lot of, like, I get so many cold emails who says things like this. So I think this is a very common thing that people do, and they just think that it's good. It's just not. It's whoever taught, I think it was there in Alex Hormoz's book. I remember I've read it. It just does not work anymore.
Money
Maybe.
models?
No, not the recent book. I have not read the recent book. I think it was in 100 Million Offer, or the second book. The
Yeah.
second book I forgot. Something was there. But yeah, there it was. I remember. I think it made sense in maybe 2022, 2023, but right now it's just
It
like
doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, you're right, because those kind of things maybe would get them like 1 or 2% replies, not more than
yeah,
that, right?
it will not get them even 1%, I'm telling you.
And yeah, maybe
Very
those would be the people who are not aware of the market also so much. Like there'd be someone who's actually just looking for a solution. Maybe they've just started out in the market and they're not very market aware. And that's why they would end up responding. Otherwise, with people at high level, you will never get responses from them.
correct, correct. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, just it totally depends. Like if you're following up with someone, you need to add the context. Like what is the context here? Like why are you following up? No one is gonna remember your first email or your last email.
Right, right. Awesome. One more thing, like one more section that I would love to chat about. This is all about cold emails. I've learned a lot, and it has actually motivated me because of that one line you mentioned that you get to choose. which one do you want to work with? That's very interesting that I could actually choose my clients. But I would love to chat about a little bit about LinkedIn, and specifically the lead generation strategy of LinkedIn, that you use lead magnets, right?
Yeah.
And you've created multiple lead magnets that have received thousands and thousands of comment on LinkedIn as well. And a lot of people have used your strategies. I've seen your reels. I came to your event. You shared some. I mean, in your event, you literally shared that I shared this yesterday and see the comment section today, right? So let's like quickly walk through that. Why lead magnets specifically?
Right. So a lot of people think that lead magnets are only here to get us leads, but that's actually wrong. Because with each and every lead magnets, I've gained at least 5,000, 6,000 followers. Okay, that does not really happen on LinkedIn. May happen on Instagram or any other platform, but it can actually get you very good. And these people, they are not just some random people, right? They are your target audience. They are your like there are people basically who enjoy watching such content. So this is like one of the major thing. Even if you're not getting leads, at least you are getting views. In terms of these days, getting attention is the most important thing, right? In LinkedIn, and in terms like let's say if you're like a SaaS founder, for you, so it's like really really good. Getting these kind of things. Apart from this, it's for service-based business owners. For them also, it's really good. Like for us, we have signed so many clients using just lead magnets, right? So it's very very important. And another lead, like see, lead magnet again was really really cool. I think 3 months or 4 months back, specifically really good in 2024 when we first started, because that time I'm telling you no one was doing it. Very few people were doing it. And the results were really good. But right now, literally every two or every post on LinkedIn, I think, is a lead magnet. Like I see so many posts. So
Okay.
the thing is, whenever demand increases so much, the just value does not increases,
Right,
right? So,
right.
so in order to do that, another lead magnet that we are A/B testing right now is, instead of saying like I'll give you this thing or that thing, you say like I'll give you a personalized, done for you template for you specifically. Okay, and I'm giving out to only 50 people, and you can pick out who those 50 people are. You don't have to offer it to any like random people. You can pick out like anyone that fits your target audience. So yeah, this is one of the lead magnets that's gonna take over from now on, because right now I think it's getting again like too much of this, but still very very good strategy in order to get good engagement, good leads also, I would say.
Got it. First of all, by having this conversation with you, I understand that as we move forward in the world and years pass by, the more personalized somebody gets attention, the easier the sale will become. And the more generic marketing or general stuff that you do, harder it will be to convert them. Because the same thing you mentioned for emails and the same thing you're mentioning for LinkedIn lead magnets as well, right? So, how do you first decide that this should be the lead magnet topic that my audience would like?
Got it. Like how do you decide how to create lead magnets, right? Or
Yeah, like
like
what topic to create it upon.
okay. So see, whenever you're creating lead magnets, the topic again very very important here, right? So that's a good question. Now, how do you create it is basically, first of all, you figure out what few of the common issues your target audience is having at the moment. Okay. These issues could be something that's like very very common. Like for you as a social media manager, one of the common issue would be is we are getting a lot of views, followers, but these views, followers are not converting. These are not quality leads. Now how do you convert? If you have 100K followers on Instagram or LinkedIn, how do you convert that audience into your client? So that could be like a one topic. So you need to first focus on most common pain points that the mass would do, right? Now once you can just ask chat GPT this. It's very simple. Once you have that, what you can do is, whatever resource you have in house. So what we do is, whatever resource, because we create like a lot of SOPs on a daily basis, right? So we just repurpose it. We just add like a few stuff there, and it's done. Now if you're someone who does not have a lot of things, what you can do is, you can still list out like a few things. You can go to YouTube. You will see like a lot of people talking about these common things. You can also go on Twitter, you can also see some other website, Substack, these kind of things, right? And it will give you that pain point solving, like how do you solve that pain point. Just take that info, put it into ChatGPT, and you have your PDF file ready. You can even personalize it even more, make it even more better using Gamma. So this is like a very simple funnel. I would suggest everyone to create lead magnets based on the target pain
Yeah.
points.
So basically, you post a lead magnet, you get a lot of comments, you start sending out, and then you qualify them and book a call with them, is it?
Yes.
Or do you do anything differently?
No. So what we do is, first of all, we send them the lead magnet. Okay, it's not actually very easy because a lot of people are just here for the content. They don't really care what you do. Like it's your job to convert them as your client, right? So what we do is we just ask them, and we tell them. We don't tell. So a lot of people do is. They will just reach out and they'll say, "Did you get a chance to look at this lead magnet?" Right? Like as a follow up. We don't do that. We have done this. It does not work. What we do is, did you get a chance to look at this specific thing? Now in this specific thing, again, we don't say anything, something very common. We say something very crazy that just sounds very superficial or just unbelievable to achieve. Like for example, hey, did you get a chance to look at that AI SDR stack on how that thing works? Now what it will do is it will pique their curiosity. Oh, something like this is there, let me just quickly go through it, right? Now they go through it and then they would reply, oh yeah, yeah, I did went through it. Then we ask them like, okay, that's great. Did you, have you happened to do something like this in house, and how's that going for you at the moment? They'll be like, we haven't done this, we have tried in the past. Like it would depend, of course, from person to person, but most common replies like, we have tried in the past, it does not work for us. Right? Now what we tell them is, how about we do this? We create a personalized plan for you guys, right? And you share it with your team and you do it. Okay. You try it on your own. If you need any help from our end, we are happy to help you out. But we would love if you try it on your own. If you cannot do it, let's hop on a call. Now, in that point, we are not really asking them for them to hop on a call with us. We are just sending them something that we think, they can use, like their team can use. And what they say is usually like, actually, it would be really great if we can hop on a call and discuss this. So we let them take the charts. We let them decide what they want to do, because that's how they convert, right? Because if you keep asking them, keep sending them the message, it's not going to work. You need to make them think that this is an issue that they're having at the moment, and no one else can fix it, like not even their own in-house team. This is someone, a professional can only help them, and that's where we come in. So this is the strategy we do whenever it comes to the follow-ups and all these things.
Understood, understood. Thanks for sharing that. In fact, lead magnets nurture your prospects. Eventually, you become closer to them and you are able to build your authority on them as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. As we move towards the end of this podcast, I would like to have, like three. So I'm going to ask you like simple questions, and I just want like three simple steps to achieve that, you know. So basically, you've seen both type of growth. You've seen like side hustle based growth and system based growth. And you've also talked about this in one of your previous podcasts as well, right? So I would love like you to share with the audience that what's your take on the new way of scaling, like what's your take on the system based growth and delegation and all of that.
Right. Now in this part, first of all, it totally depends on, what stage you're in. Let's take example if someone who is just, starting out and they don't really know what to do. So for them, what I'll suggest is just do like a few internships, right? Once the internships are done, in that internship, you will actually understand how systems work. Otherwise, no course will teach you this. Honestly, no course will can actually teach you. You need to see, you just join any startup, do like 3 months of internship, okay, understand few of the things. Once that is done, then you start with your own thing. Now delegation and these kind of things, they come up after you reach a certain level. Let's say for example, if you're at a level where you're not being able to handle the clients yourself and you're now converting it into like an agency or a company, right? Now that's where you need. Now in order to do that, for the delegation part specifically, you need someone like a manager or someone like you can get started with yourself, of course, but it just takes a lot of time. Like you can only handle too much. Either you handle the clients, either you do the team, or you do the sales. You'll go crazy, right?
Right.
So best thing would be to hire a manager. Okay, this manager you can hire a lot of fractional managers are also there these days. We have also done it for ourselves, and they work really, really well because first of all, they are super professional. They know things, and in terms of salary, also they can, they don't really expect too much, right?
Hmm.
So let's say if you're planning to hire someone for 30K per month, right? You can easily hire like a fractional manager or CMO or like someone in house who has at least like 3 years at least experience, and they would be happy to help you out in this part because this becomes very, very crazy, right? So this is like one of the approach I would suggest. You can also hire in house. Is just that in house team always would need your assistance, right? So unless you have that top level infrastructure that can train the lower ground, it would be best to hire someone who is already doing good. So this is my strategy.
Here, we spoke a lot about cold emails and LinkedIn and everything. Is there anything, one specific thing that you keep repeating when it comes to cold emails that works for you all the time? So for me, like there is one ad that I keep
Okay.
doing again and again in different clothes, and it just gets us like good ROAS and crazy results.
Got it. In terms of cold emailing, I think it would be this email headline is RE dot this thing. This is working out for us again and again because first of all, it creates this illusion that this is a reply. This is not a cold email, right? So, so yeah, like if the copy is good and if they are interested, they would reply. So this is something that's working out quite good. Like not for us, for our clients also.
Got it. Understood. And before we like end this conversation here, there's a quick rapid fire that I've prepared after seeing your content and previous podcasts and seeing that what exactly you're into. So it's just like a rapid fire, quick answers, and no reasoning, nothing like just one line answers it. This because this. Sounds good?
Got it. Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
That's
So would you rather use to write cold emails, Claude or GPT?
GPT.
More important, like prompting or systems thinking?
Systems.
Any one automation that you recently did that blew your mind?
Nothing blew my mind, but yeah, but we did do a lot of like one automation like super recently. Like what the agent would do is basically it will first of all it will scrape all the historic data that is there like in my profile. Actually, it is currently doing that only. So it will scrape that data. It will figure out the tonality, the basically everything on how I create content, and then it just gives the content topics. It writes the content. I mean, of course, we need someone to arrange that content piece by piece. But yeah, this is something that we recently did, and the agent is giving really, really good, response to us at the moment. So yeah, that's
So you created the agent yourself, right?
yeah. Like I have a team that does this. So cheers to the team. Yeah,
Awesome. One AI tool that you can't live without.
it has to be ChatGPT. I mean, a lot of work goes just in ChatGPT. And I know I'll talk about a lot of AI tools. Actually, I don't use a lot of AI tools. Most of the AI tool that I use is ChatGPT, honestly. Like that's just I just don't have the time, like I have a team that does all these experiment and I just, put take that input and I create content. That's it. That's my work.
Awesome. One manual thing, that you would never automate, like even if you have the tool.
There are like a lot of things I would never automate, but I think sales is something I would not like sales when you hop on a Zoom call. So even if there are like AI SDRs that can take, I think that is not something I will automate like that.
Got it. And
Yeah.
what are the three, like three things that you would leave the audience with to think about, to ponder upon when it comes to entrepreneurship, scaling business, and, like just being in this online digital nomad world? Know about it. What would you just leave them with, like your pearls of wisdom, something like that?
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, got it. So for me, this is like one of the thing I follow each and every time. And this is something like no matter what you do, like what are the results you're getting, your work is to do the work that you promised yourself that you would, right? What you thought, like I thought, like I will reach out to this amount of people, I will automate this thing, I will hire this people. So you will do that. Now, how the amount of hire, like how the person would turn out, that is not your work. Like, I mean, that is not in the present, that is in the future right now, right? So being more in the present, doing the work, not thinking about, oh, this will work, this will, because a lot of time people fail is because they think so much. Unlike doing, like they'll watch so much thing, they'll take so much courses. I mean, they can just do the work and get the result. So
Right.
this is something I follow. I personally struggle with this, so that's what I'm saying. Like even I'm the kind of person who would procrastinate. I have so much ideas. I would hop onto 10 different ideas without focusing on one idea. I would think, oh, maybe this would fail, maybe this would do. So this is something I personally follow for myself. I'm not perfect at it, but yeah, this is something I suggest everyone.
Got it. And you're also very much into fitness.
Yeah,
And a lot of people actually ignore that. Like, I'm also very much into fitness. A lot of people actually ignore that. They wouldn't go to the gym, they wouldn't do something, and they just
yeah,
sit and work and like hustle. I mean, hustling is great, but then eventually, so when I was like 20, 21, 22 years old, I used to hustle a lot. It was at that time working. But when I got apart after 25, I was like, okay, I cannot keep hustling, I mean, there was
exactly.
fatigue, afternoon crashes, all of
Yeah.
that. So,
So
what would you
yeah.
tell the people about that?
Yeah, so apart from this topic, I would also like to add something to the word hustling, right? I mean, see, working on things, a lot of people, first of all, okay, to make them feel satisfied in the end of day, okay, they just do like 10 different work, or they would do some, random thing, and they would call it as hustle. Honestly, this is also something I would like to add. This is also something I'm trying to focus on right now, is not hustling too much, okay? Like being able to be at a position that can attract things instead of me going to them, right?
Yeah,
Because see, what I realized in the end, when you're constantly hustling, constantly, like killing yourself, you're like, you're bad, you cannot do this, you cannot do this, you need to do this. So what you're telling your brain is basically that you cannot do this thing, right? And what I've realized till now, you can achieve 10x the growth, right? Rather than the person who is just hustling. Like, see, you need to be also aligned with the result. Like, you need to, have that kind of mindset. So this is also like super, super important that I would like to add for anyone who would be watching this. Don't, misconcept hustling into getting the work things done. A lot of time people procrastinate, people do a lot of weird stuff, they just call it hustle. I've seen so many reels, so many people talk about this, go to gym at 4 a.m., do this, do that.
I don't think
It
so.
does not work. Like it's like, I'll tell you, I used to go to gym since I'm 15 years old, and so I have a very fast metabolism. Okay, like I can eat too much, and I still don't gain any weight. So that is like one of my superpower. But still, I used to go to the gym because I really liked. I didn't had much to do, and I really liked getting fit and being in that zone. What I realized is that just going to the gym is, again, like as you said, right, it's just too tiring and just not enough. So right now I don't go to gym. Like I do a lot of core strengthening workout with yoga, with a lot of other things I do. Like aerial silk is something that I'm currently working on, where you need to like pull yourself, climb walls, all these things I'm pushing, because here a lot of body workout is involved, your body weight workout, because that's what in the end matters, is what I feel. Because see, I'm telling you, on daily basis I see people in my yoga class that are like huge gym builders, runners, all with knee pain, back pain, whatnot, like women who are going to gym for so long, they have so many issues with PCOS. So yeah, like, because see, with gym also I feel it just increases your cortisol, specifically for women. I think like you need to be very, very careful on the kind of workout you're doing, because I'm telling you, like I have done each and every workout that there is, like deadlift, this, that. Is just Like I would suggest in the end, go for workouts where you can, lift your own body weight. What is the point of, lifting something at gym in that same pace? It's just, I don't know, like for me, though, it's not working anymore.
Yeah,
So,
eventually
yeah.
everyone has to figure out what works for them.
Exactly, exactly. For gym also it's good. It's just that, you need to, have that level. Like you should not do the workout like how a man does. Like for
Yeah,
women, it's very different. And I don't think that knowledge is there. Like how men do, right? Monday this, Tuesday
yeah,
this, Thursday. Honestly, that is the worst thing you can put your body through as a girl.
correct. That's true. So thanks for sharing that. And I had a great time having this conversation with you. Learned a lot about cold DMs and everything. Any plans of hosting any more events?
Yeah, right now I'll tell you like my pipeline is very, very crazy. Like I'm actually struggling right now to hire good team people. So yeah, not as of now, but maybe in the future because I really enjoyed I really liked how people reacted also. So yeah, definitely something I would do. It's just that like I'll have to wait like for a while because these things they may look very good. It just gives so much anxiety also like
Yeah, 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 yeah. We've hosted a lot of events, these offline events, and
Yeah,
it is a lot of work also,
it's a
arrangement
lot of work,
and
yeah.
flow of the event, and like a lot goes into that.
Exactly, and it's just very tough right now. Like I'm just currently focusing on just creating content, running the business. Nothing else I'm, going for at the moment because I do get so many this, college events from NIT and these, good colleges, I would say, where they want their, they have some e-cell or, some entrepreneurship programs or something where they want me to teach their this. I also got one, I think, from Deloitte or something. So
Hmm.
I'm rejecting all these things because I just know like I'll go insane. Like either my business will fail or like I'll just like I'll disappear. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. It was great speaking with you and had a lot of fun, lot of learnings. And thanks for joining and giving such sort of. The one thing I love about you is you don't gatekeep because that already is, shown in your content as well. Ki whatever you're using or whatever new things that you've learned, you are very excited to share it with the audience, which is really great. Not a lot of people do that.
Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like knowledge is something you should pass on to the next. This is something I've been taught since I was a child. Like if you know something, you need to tell the other person. Like knowledge is knowledge, right? So
Right. All right. Thank you so much for joining. And I hope that you have greater problems in business where you want to hire more and more people. And I wish you all the best.
yeah, thank you very much. It was lovely speaking to you as well, sharing all these things.
You too. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Right. Yeah. Bye, Aditi.
Bye.